Hey there folks, welcome to Doc Talk. I'm sure glad you joined us today. We're in Great Bend, Kansas at Animal Medical Center where we're going to be talking with Dr. Nels Lindberg, who is a veterinarian and owner of Animal Medical Center. We're going to talk about rural veterinary practice, some of the things that are going on today, some of the things that we're looking down the road. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Welcome to the show.
You bet. Glad to be on it.
Folks, this is a good friend of mine and colleague, Dr. Nels Lindberg, and it's always a treat for me to be able to spend time with you, and I know how busy you are, and so thanks a million for letting us come down here on this beautiful night in Great Bend, Kansas.
It's a nice day. The wind's not blowing too fast or hard.
This time of year in Kansas, that's always a blessing. Well, folks, Dr. Lindberg has an incredible veterinary practice in rural America, and one of the things that he and I have a lot of discussions on, because we're both very passionate about the future of veterinary medicine, is growing it, and he's out doing it. I'm in the ivory tower, but tell us a little bit about your clinic.
Well, this clinic, it was built in 1985 by Dr. Jerry Will, who was a predominant cow-calf veterinarian, and was able to purchase it in 2005. And really since then we've grown all phases of the practice, whether it's small animal, all segments of the cattle industry, cow-calf, stocker, feed yard, as well as the equine side of our practice. When I purchased it, the goal was really to begin to provide more service, to gain more clients and service a broader area. And so, in our industry, in the veterinary industry, if you're predominantly a large animal practice, it's become very cyclical. In the fall, you do your typical, in the cow herd side, you're doing your preg checks and preventative and herd health visits, and it kind of slows down around the holidays and the Christmas time, and then it starts kicking in with calving season in the cow-calf sector, and then it shuts off about the time they go to grass. And so in those slow times in the summer, you need to be offering services that are other than cow-calf. And so the horse sectors has done very well for us. We've expanded that option. Our small animals done extremely well, and then as for like myself, what I've found myself at this point doing is strictly feedlot consultation, which is 365 days a year. It's steady. There is a cycle to it, but it's in our industry as a consultant, it's all year long.
And you always have so in other words, you've built up probably the small animal side of things more. You've added some diagnostics.
Sure.
In-house testing for BVD. The equine center you built's fantastic. But all these are part of a business plan that you're seeing, that the way to survive in rural America. I think people forget there's a lot of small animal work that needs to be done in rural America too.
Absolutely. I tell every vet student I can get my hands on. We get a lot of externs here from literally coast to coast as well as internationally, and a lot of the large animal geared kids have tended to want to just do large animal. And as I explained to them, every person that's got cattle or horses, they all have dogs and cats, and they need somebody to also take care of those, and that's another service you can provide. You mentioned diagnostics, and everything we're geared towards here is growing our service side of our business, and diagnostics and being able to do more for them in-house, rather than have to send out or refer, means more business for us.
Helps them make more business. We're going to take a break. Folks, we're down in Great Bend, Kansas on a beautiful evening at Animal Medical Center with Dr. Nels Lindberg. We'll be back after the break.
This Meet the Future Veterinarian is brought to you by Zuprevo. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Aaron Schaefer grew up on a dairy farm in Illinois. After attending Parkland College and the University of Illinois, he was accepted into the College of Veterinary Medicine at Kansas State University. Graduating in May 2015, Aaron and his wife, also a graduate of K-State's College of Veterinary Medicine, are starting a large animal ambulatory practice in Northeast Kansas.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Doc Talk, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Hey, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Nels Lindberg, veterinarian and owner of Animal Medical Center in Great Bend, Kansas. And we're talking about something that we both have a lot of passion about, and that's the future of rural practice. But one of the things we can't talk about the future enough is how much this dadgum vet school costs these people to go these days. It's unbelievable.
It's skyrocketed, and you know, as you said, it's something very near and dear to my heart. We host a lot of these externs, as we mentioned, and we get kids coming out that are $200,000+ in debt. We've had them come out here that were $300,000 in debt, and so
just from their education.
Just from their education, and so we try to talk them through that a little bit. At that point, when we're talking to them, it's a little too late. I'd really rather be talking to kids prior to that, and how to number one, not go into so much debt, or not go into any debt at all and get it done, and then how to manage their debt, and then from there, then they get out in the real world, and they expect an appropriate salary from us to basically help service their debt.
Right.
When it gets that high, that debt load becomes a significant portion of their income that they've got to pay back, and they come out, they don't have a vehicle worth a darn. They're maybe trying to buy a house, and they're staring at, you know, $100,000 to $200,000+ in debt, and it becomes a significant debt load that they've got to service.
Well, you do a lot, and folks, I'm gonna have to brag on Dr. Nels a little bit, because he will come to Kansas State, work with our students, provide lectures on financial, how to budget. You bought all the students a copy of Money magazine that attended your lecture, which, you know, there's a lot of people who talk about, well, we ought to do this and do that. This is a person who does it, and I appreciate it so much. So what are some of the things you see in the future? I mean, what are we going to, I mean, with this debt, one of the things, either we're going to have to figure out a way to do vet school cheaper, or something, but something's going to have to give coming down the road with this debt load in all college education.
Yeah, number one, we've got to realize that colleges have relied on less from state funding. Every state in the entire United States is, you know, they've all cut budgets to state schools, and so state schools raise money through tuition and more students, and so schools are offsetting that. But from a student standpoint, what I really preach to them is concentrating on not taking out so much debt and managing their money wisely while they're going through the process, and or working if they have to. And it can be done. There's people like Dave Ramsey and his daughter Rachel Ramsey Cruz that preach it, and they teach kids how to do it and what to do. And I don't know the answer. What I do know is it's a problem, and my honest opinion is it actually starts with parenting. And parents have to teach kids that, you know, if you want to go out of state, maybe that's not the right thing to do, because if you have a vet school in state, let's say vet school or med school or just undergrad, if you just stay in state, you can cut your tuition, you know, by half to, you know, 40% or even more. And so we need to think about those things as well.
I always tell somebody, and we got to go to a break, but I always tell people the best vet school to go to is the one that's the cheapest. Folks, we're going to come back with more with Dr. Nels Lindberg here in Great Bend, Kansas.
Broadband has become as important to us as highways. That is why Doc Talk is teaming up with NTCA, the Rural Broadband Association, and rural broadband companies like Blue Valley Telecommunications in fighting for quality broadband access through the program Smart Rural Communities.
I don't think we have any idea what's coming in the future. I couldn't have imagined 5 years ago what we're doing today. So in 2 years, I would guess there's things we can't imagine that we're going to be doing.
To learn more, visit ntca.org/smart or bluevalley.net.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Pope. Here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center, utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. Doc Talk, brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Nels Lindberg, Animal Medical Center, Great Bend, Kansas. And we're talking about rural practice. You have a wonderful practice that you've built. You've brought in some younger veterinarians to work underneath you. One of them is matriculated up to co-owner with you, Matt Fair. But I think that, now this is going to get probably in general for people, whether you're a veterinarian or not a veterinarian, but what are some of your keys for success for people?
Well, when our veterinarians first come out, we kind of have a pretty steep curve, and it's not just in knowledge and being practical and putting it to use, but it's a break-in period because when they get out of vet school, they haven't worked, and they're soft, and so it's a break-in period that we're talking to them a lot, and and it's about work, and so I have classmates that are veterinarians and deal with other veterinarians, and we all want to look at numbers and whatever it might be, whether it's daily or weekly or monthly. We want to know what production numbers look like, and so I preach to everyone coming out is you don't have to worry about the numbers if you do certain things. And really, number one is providing an undeniable service. And you have to provide it in a very clean and friendly manner. But then after that, it's about work. And you have to work.
Yeah, I know.
You have to work.
I hear you.
Did I say work? And that's what it's about. If you're willing to work, I don't care what the business is. You work your tail off, you work long hours, it's going to happen, and it's a balance. You've got family, you've got other things you've got to do, and it is a challenge. But you know, as a professional veterinarian, as all veterinarians, I mean, it's our duty, it's our job. We got to work, and if it takes long hours, you know, one thing I tell all veterinarians coming out is, you know, we don't leave until the work is done.
Right.
And if that's at 6 or 7 or 10, that's when it is. And we have a service to provide, and people need that service, and we're going to work till the work's done that day.
And when you start to think about, you know, I get to start thinking about my grandpa, and I start thinking about my dad. And,
yeah.
You know, we're starting to approach those ages, Nels, and you start to think about, you know, everybody says, this generation doesn't know how to work, and it gets back to I think that we all go through a maturation process, some of us earlier than others, and it gets back to that parenting deal that you're talking about. But you know, the work portion of it, the fiscal responsibility, it all gets back to character and discipline and doing the things that count when nobody's looking.
That's right. Integrity.
Yep.
Integrity is huge in our business, and if you don't have integrity and good character, it's probably not going to work out too good for you.
It's very hard for people to understand because we have so few people in regular business like a veterinary practice where it is a day-to-day service to understand the personal trust and elevation of relationships.
Millennials, they want to work. They know how to work. For us as veterinarians, we have to set up our expectations. We have to let them know what our expectations are, and we have to be crystal clear in those expectations.
Yep.
If you do that, they'll do it. You just got to do that, be a mentor,
lay it out,
teach them. They want mentorship,
yep.
And we have to provide mentorship as well.
Well, you do a good job of it. When we come back from break, I'm going to talk to you about what's next in veterinary practice out in rural America. Thanks for watching Doc Talk, and we'll be back in a minute.
The BQA Tip of the Day, sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim Vetmedica, Inc.
Hello folks, Dr. Nels Lindberg here from Great Bend, Kansas with Production Animal Consultation and Animal Medical Center. Today's BQA Tip of the Day, we're going to talk about pen surface management. And pen surface management doesn't just have to do with feed yards, it has to do with cow-calf producers that have any sort of pens, stockers, starter yards, and feed yards. We all need to do a great job of taking care of our pen surfaces. We can often forget about them. We have many other things to take care of, but again, we want to maintain an excellent pen surface for these cattle. It's good for their welfare, it's excellent for animal health, and if we don't take care of them, can also negatively impact animal performance. We must groom these pens periodically. Pen populations, how often cattle are in them, will often dictate that. Bedding cattle will dictate that. If we're feeding them big round bales and pens, will dictate that. But again, we want to have a clean, dry pen surface for these cattle. Whether it's a cow-calf herd and baby calves, feeder cattle, stalker cattle, whatever it may be. If we have a lot of buildup, whether it's manure or feed particle or bales, bacteria, viruses sit in there and they continue to cohabitate and infect new cattle or the same cattle or baby calves, creating unhealthy situations for all the animals. Let's do the right thing, take care of these pen surfaces, groom them frequently, and make them look like this pen right here. Thank you much.
Healthy cows start with the new Hired Hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher. Get the new Hired Hand for yourself or become a distributor. Visit cowsprayer.com. The new Hired Hand makes healthy cows easy.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Fresh herbs are healthy and add zest to almost every recipe. The folks at Jackson's grow more than 50 varieties of herbs right here, and many are available year-round. Our staff has hands-on experience and can't wait to assist you with your herb needs. Stop in and see us at Jackson's. We're open 7 days a week.
Topeka's largest selection of homegrown herbs is at Jackson's Greenhouse, with 4-inch pots starting at just $3.79.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. I'm here with Dr. Nels Lindberg from Animal Medical Center in Great Bend, Kansas, a wonderful rural practice here in Kansas's heartland. Let's talk about some of the things that we're going to see as far as producers and practitioners and what you're going to be offering down the road.
Well, we have a regional practice mentality, and that's the future direction we're going, and that's the future direction we believe our industry is going. And so when it comes to that, we cover more miles, we cover maybe more producers or maybe bigger producers.
Right.
And as time progresses, we've got to be able to offer the services they need. And that's, that may be beyond preg checking, that may be beyond semen testing bulls, that may be beyond routine service work. Does it involve, involve audits and assessments and, animal welfare programs and things like that? And in order for us to do that, we've probably got to cover more miles. The days of, potentially smaller practices in smaller towns, I don't want to say they're going to go away, because any successful practitioner can build a phenomenal practice wherever. It's up to that person, it's up to the people to come to them. But we're just going to be covering more miles and wider service areas, wider geographical areas, and we'll have to do that to sustain our practice, sustain our business model.
Yep.
That's really what it takes.
Well, and you see producers doing more and more on their own. And we talked about there's fewer emergencies, there's fewer simple animal husbandry type things such as castration and dehorning, and we don't know if we'll even be preg checking down the road. There may be, there's already blood tests and different things to that nature that, that we're going to have to adapt. And I think it gets back to we have to offer what adds value to our producers' farm.
Yeah, if we don't add value to a producer, they won't use us.
You're a liability.
We're a liability, and we've talked about trust. Producers have to trust us, we have to trust them, and if that doesn't happen, it's not a good relationship.
Yep.
But we have to do the right services, the services they need, in order to do what they do, to have a good cow herd, to have a good business.
And I think that the veterinary client-patient relationship in beef operations and food production operations, food animal production operations, there couldn't be a more needed relationship for producers and their security and their future than working with their veterinarian. We have to be on the farm.
Yeah, absolutely. With current direction, FDA is going on antimicrobial therapy and feed additives and
restaurants
animal
and animal welfare, food safety.
Yeah, people want to know that we're doing the job right. Sometimes it may drive us a little crazy because we feel like they're questioning our integrity, and that we're out there at 3 in the morning and they're sleeping in their bed. We're still busting our tails trying to provide, safe beef.
Well, at the end of the day, it gets back to we just need to tell our story because we do a damn good job.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here today.
You bet. Glad to do it.
Thank you for watching Doc Talk. You've seen me and Dr. Nels Lindberg talk about rural practice in America. If you want to know more about what we do at the vet school, you can find us on the web at www.vet.ksu.edu. Remember, always work with your local veterinarian. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson, signing off from Great Bend, Kansas tonight, and I'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.